Let's roll.
We're
Let's
recording,
roll.
so go ahead and take the floor, Becky, all yours.
All right. Well, actually, I'm going to be handing it over to James because today James is going to be teaching us. Right, James? Going to be teaching us. So everyone get out a piece of paper. Well, actually, you might need a lot of pieces of paper today. And a pen or a pencil that won't run out on you, and get ready for some amazing information and some great teaching. So we're going to mute everybody. James, do you want the ability for people to interact? Do you want to mute and then we'll open for questions later? What's your preference?
Let me roll for a little bit, kind of my style, and then we'll open it up later. They can type in or you can call on. It's up to you. You're running the show, Becky.
All right. Well, what we're going to do is I'm going to follow James's lead. We're going to mute everyone and let him take it. And then when we open it up for questions, you really primarily, I would like for you to write your question in the chat box. If we have the time to be able to open it up for people to ask questions themselves, we'll do that. But if you will, please write your question in the chat box. John McLeod is mediating for us, so we will get to the questions. But until then, we're going to mute everyone. And before we get started, many of you know who James is. I would think that all of you know at least a little bit of James because, one, he's been on our Zoom calls before, and everyone that I've invited to this is part of either our Market Center or Keller Williams. There are some guests on here that may not be with Keller Williams. So I'm going to take the opportunity to introduce James. He is, I mean, it could take me a while because he's got a lot of experience. And I'm so excited to have him here. But James is currently an operating principal for us on the East Coast, Keller Williams. And he also has a luxury team, the Torrance team, right? Your luxury team, James?
Yes.
Yeah. And we also, we are so excited to have him on because as operating principal and running the Torrance team, which is part of luxury as well, he just has a wealth of experience in so many different areas, so many different leadership areas, so many different things that he's done in his life. And so I think we're all just going to get an extreme amount of value out of this today. So without further ado, James, thank you so much for being here, and we are excited to hear what you have for us today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I've been thinking about this since our last call, and it's a little bit, just a little background about myself. I've been in the business for 36 years, and these times we're in right now are really, really powerful times. And so I want to speak about that. I want to speak about luxury as well. And I just want to share from my heart with you all today. So in 36 years, I got my license when I was 18. And literally I was in construction at a very young age and selling real estate, first with Coldwell Banker. And my mom was a top agent with Coldwell Banker for many, many years in Atlanta. And she was probably like the top five of all agents in Atlanta for a long time. So I grew up in this real estate family, and my father was a home builder, but he built in Florida. So I moved to Florida when I was 21, and I started taking care of my dad because he had strokes right when I got here. So it was really a powerful lesson. So I started building luxury real estate houses, building houses. So I was a home builder. And I built homes for 15, 18 years. I built about 200 custom homes in Palm Beach County, Florida, all the way from Vero down into to Palm Beach, at Ibis and Ballin Isles and Willoughby and every development up and down the coast. And I learned a lot. And so in 2000, when I closed my home building company, I said, you know what, I'm done with this. And I'm going to start I paid all my bills, and I said, I'm going to start my brokerage business. I took those 200 clients and I said, okay, I'm going to service those 200 clients and the contractors in my community in the brokerage business, in the real estate luxury business. And so when I did that, I joined right off the bat. I went down to RE/MAX. I joined RE/MAX, and I was there just doing what I would do, and that's a great company. And then I thought, I'm going to make a move, and I didn't know what I was going to do. So then I went to 100% shop, and that was not a good move for me. You are who you surround yourself with. I'm a firm believer of the power of association. And I did that, and my business tanked. I was used to 7, 8, 10 million in volume, and it just wasn't a good thing for me. So then I went over to Keller Williams, and it took literally 19 interviews for that to happen. So I was a hard nut to crack. And I went there, and I started learning, the business, because I thought I knew the business, but I didn't know the business. And so then I started building my business, and then I did kind of kept to myself. I was a single agent with an assistant, and I didn't really talk to anybody. I didn't really buy into the culture. I'm just sharing with you, from me, it was a real process. And then after my father passed, I took a couple months off, and I said, okay, what am I going to do now? I'm ready to build another company. And I went to the team leader, and the team leader said, you can build a team if you really want to build a team, And I said, okay, I want to teach me how to build a team. He said, all right, well, you need to join the ALC, which is Agent Leadership Council, and then I'll teach you how to build a team. So from that point in 2012, I went from about 3 million to 28 million and built a team. And that 2012 was a rough go. I mean, it was a rough go back then. And then the operating partner franchise piece opened up for me. And so I tell you that because our company and what we're talking about with luxury and with Keller Williams is there's so much opportunity for people. And we're going to speak about the opportunity as well in the luxury market today. And I just give you a little bit of background about my story that took about 3 or 4 minutes there, because you need to be able to tell your story. Okay. And we're going to talk about telling your story in the luxury market. And I did that as a little exercise. Usually I don't do that, but you're going to need to be able to tell your story. And there's some things I want you to do. If you got a piece of paper, please get a piece of paper, and I'm going to write out some bullet points, and we're going to go through some things together that are very, very important for the luxury market. Okay. Because this is all I've been in the luxury market since I was 18. That's what I started with. So, was very blessed with that. My mother sold real estate out of a trailer, building houses down the street. And I just grew up around construction and real estate, period. All right. So the one thing you want to do, and is this talk is about get in the game. Okay. What does that mean? Do you think it's easier to sell a $100,000 house or $1 million house? Okay. Actually, it's quite easier, in my belief, to sell $1 million house than a $100,000 house. Okay, and we're going to talk more about that. So why don't more people sell $1 million houses? So I've been thinking about that, and there's 2 reasons, and the first one is confidence. Okay, so I think to have in the luxury market, there's 2 things the client really wants. They want to know they can trust you. They want to know they can trust you. And they want to know that you're competent in your role, that you can really lead them through this jungle. Okay. And it is a jungle now. So it's always a jungle, but this is especially a jungle. So also, I want to encourage you that I've made more money during these type of markets than I ever did in a runaway market, than a buyer's market. I mean, the seller's market. I've made more money in buyer markets than I do in seller markets. Why is that? The client needs you more now than ever. Okay, your market, your clients need you more than ever before. So you really want to think about that, and that shifted overnight, right? I mean, there's a whole saying in Keller Williams, it's gradually then suddenly. This, I think we could say this was gradually and then suddenly, right? I mean, instantly, overnight. I mean, it was amazing. And as this unfolded, I'm sitting here going, wow, what an opportunity. So today's discussion's about get in the game, because this is the greatest opportunity to ever get into luxury real estate, all right, and to thrive in real estate, all right. So those two things that want to touch base on. We, with our company, I know there are a lot of guests on here, so I'm just going to speak about our company for a little bit right now. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me and I can share other stuff with you. But we have our brand new luxury magazine. Okay. So I'm going to talk about, and whether you're with our company or not, there's so many great companies out there, but I'm just going to talk about our company. In our company, we and I teach in my two offices. I have two market centers in Palm Beach County, one in the central and one in the north, and KW Reserve and KW Preferred Partners. And we sell up and down Palm Beach County. That's my main role. That's what I do. That's what I love. My operating partner role, I love. I just eat and sleep operating partner. I love it. So we teach the power of we. Okay, the power of we. We are so much stronger. I don't know, there's probably 35 to 40,000 agents probably in South Florida. You know, that's a lot of agents, right? There's 14,000 in Palm Beach County alone. I don't know how many are on the West Coast and you're at Naples area, but we teach in our offices the power of we. That is crucial when you're really breaking into the luxury market. Okay, so we're going to talk about the power of we. Why is the power of we important? Because you're going out there on listing appointments and you're going to be doing virtual listing appointments, and they're going to want to know about you. Can they trust you? And are you competent? And then that's where the power of we comes in. So you're all in different market centers. I know our market center, we list anywhere from 75 to 100 houses a month. Okay. I know Naples is probably the same thing, and Bonita Springs and all these market centers. You guys list a ton of houses. All right. So you use that data, you use that power of the we to list more luxury real estate. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So this is our brand new magazine. It came out last week. I'm sure your team leaders have copies. We have boxes and boxes of them. And this magazine is a perfect example of the power of we. Now, I don't care if you're in luxury or not. You can grab a copy of this magazine from your office and you can learn. When you open it up, there's one thing so important. Okay. That gold chart right there, that is called the language lore. That's the language of real estate for our luxury division. It's in our luxury division is to be with Keller Williams Luxury Division. You have to qualify. You have to be certified for that. We're the only company that's like that. Every other company does not really have a certification process. We have a very, very clear certification process. And it's different for each area. In Palm Beach County, for us, it's two sales over 500,000 in the last 12 months. I think Naples is 750. I think some of the other areas are 500. I know my coach in LA is 2 million. The Northern California is 10 million. So it's different all over the country, and we can talk about that later. But the power of we is so important because this luxury division has 2,100 agents. Now, our company has 175,000 agents in the United States, but only 2,100 are in the luxury division, okay? So I encourage everybody that's qualified, it's the best investment you'll ever make, is to get into the luxury division. And we're going to talk about that, to be certified, all right? And we're going to talk about ways to do that, okay? So the reason why I say that is because whether I'm talking to an agent to join our company or whether I'm working with a luxury buyer or seller, I focus on this page right here. And I know those numbers, okay? There's Leslie Akers, our CEO. She's amazing for Keller Williams Luxury and commercial as well. And that's also kind of neat. Commercial now and luxury are cross-pollinated because those databases are very similar. So that's a new opportunity that we've rolled out. But these 2,100 agents, just in January and February of 2020, okay, closed 3.8 billion in sales with 9,455 closings in 2 months. Okay. That's huge. I know there are a lot of guests on here from other companies. That's more than most companies' whole 2 months, just those 2,100 agents. So when I go in, or when you go into a luxury listing appointment and you're one of the certified luxury agents, this is your language of real estate, okay? That is very powerful. That is called the power of we. If you go in solo for a listing appointment and you're there, you're one of 30,000 agents in South Florida, okay? That's not the power of we. When you go in with the lore and you have a copy, whether you're certified, you can even take this with you and get listings with this, okay, which we're going to talk about, and co-list with one of our certified luxury specialists, okay, like a Mark Benson or any of the other people around here that are luxury specialists in your area of Jupiter, Gardens, West Palm Beach, and you can prospect and co-list with a certified luxury specialist. So when you tell the client you're going to put them in this magazine, you will be doing that with one of your certified luxury specialists in your market center. So your team leaders can help you get together and get that group together and help everybody go and list another 100 million in real estate. That's if each market center goes out in the next 90 days and really focuses on this with this one tool, you could generate and list another 100 million in real estate in the next 90 days with your market center. That's a challenge, and that's so doable because you have certified luxury specialists, right? All in every market center. And if every agent gets on the phone, and we're going to talk about some different things to do, and you have to go after that business, because most boutiques and most luxury firms right now, they're kind of like, they're just chilling. They're not really prospecting. They're not really doing the things that we're doing to grow our business. So we want to be aware of that and take this to the next step of opportunity. This is a big opportunity. Okay. So in this, it's really interesting. When you go after and you're listing luxury real estate, you always want your client, because it's a specific client, okay? Your client I call your client the hero. So you want to write down as the client is the hero. You want to write that down. There's a book I want you can look at. It's called Story Brand. Remember, I started telling my story. I did a little thing at the first, like, this is my story. This is who I am, blah, 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 because you guys don't know me, okay? So you need to tell your story, and your story is the power of we to your market center and the power of we into the 2,100 luxury agents. You want to be one of those 2,100 luxury agents, okay? So if your client is the hero, you want to be the guide. Okay. You never want to be a know-it-all. You never want to be the guy that tells them what to sell their house for. You want to be a guide. Okay. You want to educate your client. You want to know your numbers, and we're going to talk about that. You better know your numbers when you walk through that door for a luxury real estate, because they know their numbers. All right. With the internet right now, they know more than ever. Okay. So you got to remember, you have to what? Can they trust you? And can you get the job done? You are, please understand this. You are their financial consultant in the real estate space. It's very important. If you're their financial consultant in the real estate space, you better know what you're doing. You better know your numbers. And that's why I encourage you in the luxury space, for your first 2 transactions, co-list with someone in your office and let them mentor you through this process, earn your certification, and then step off on your own. And we're going to talk about that over and over again. Okay. So that's really, really important. So when you're the guide, there's one thing about, you want to be confident. You don't want to be arrogant. There's a difference between arrogance and confident. Okay. A confident agent knows their numbers and can deliver. Deliver what? Okay. You're not buying their house. They're not buying their house. You have to deliver the information, the market, the pulse of the market. Okay. So if you know that the house should sell between $1 million and $1.1 million, and they're looking for $1.3 million, does that sound familiar? Right? So if you go in there and you say, you're gonna need to sell it for $1 million, I think I could sell it for $1.1 million, and it's crickets, and you don't sell it for $1.1 million, are you the good guy or the bad guy? You're the bad guy, right? That's the nicest thing they'll call you, right? It's like, you never want to set yourself up for that. So you want to educate your client, and story brand. That's right. Thanks, Mark. You want to educate your client and give them a range. Okay. The good news is it only takes one buyer. Last time I checked, this was the United States of America. They could come down and pay cash. It doesn't even have to appraise. They could pay cash and you're done, right? Right. Okay. So it only takes one. So the market is going to do, this is very important. Write this down. Let the market do the heavy lifting. Let the market do the heavy lifting. You're just the messenger, you remember? You're the guide. You're not the guru, okay? You're not the real estate guru. If you go in there arrogant and I can get this sold and this is the price and that other agent doesn't know what they're doing, you're going to set yourself up to be the guy or gal that doesn't deliver. When you go in and you're a consultant and you're a professional financial real estate consultant, okay, your car's spotless, you're dressed very professional. This is so important for everyone to understand. You're in control of their largest asset unless they buy and sell companies, okay? I mean, some of them have huge stock portfolios. I understand that. That's different. But you're like, your job is really, really important. I mean, really important. And by the way, thank goodness, Zillow and Redfin and all those other companies will never do that. That's the one thing about the luxury space. I encourage everybody to get into the luxury space, because in that space, your job is more precious than ever, okay? So that's just something to think about. So you want to let the market do the heavy lifting. What does that mean? So once you've let the seller choose the price, you want to write that down too. If the seller chooses the price and you do everything you're supposed to do and it doesn't go under contract, who has to look in the mirror? The seller. Now you're going to give them a high and a low, and you're going to give them all the information. But you want to make sure that you understand their timetable. What does that mean? So their timetable, like, okay, do they have to sell the home in the next 90 days, right? Is that crucial? Most luxury sellers are going to play it really cool and kind of calm and act like they don't have to sell at all. But when you ask questions and go deeper and deeper and deeper in your consulting practice, you will understand that they're just like we are, and they would not be having you sit there if they didn't need to sell. They would not have you there. Trust me, they have better things to do than have me come over there and tell them what I think their house is worth, okay? So they're gonna, when you walk into a store, the person says, hey, can I help you? What do you say? No, I'm just looking, right? That's just our job. That's their job. So I use the consultative approach so that I'm leading them through this process. So the market's going to do the heavy lifting, and the market's I'm going to tell them, I'm going to say, hey, in this price point, if we don't have 5 to 15 showings in the first 2 to 4 weeks, then we're going to be having a talk, right? And I'm going to be updating you on the market every Monday at 5:30. Why Monday at 5:30? You've gone through the weekend. They know you've had some showings. I can sit down in 1 hour. I can call all my listings and I can educate them and send them an update on the market. Does that make sense? Everybody got that? Not everybody got that? Okay. So then I'm always updating them on the market as well. How do I update them on the market? Well, there's different ways. Obviously, you can do the sales and all the different things like that. But what's always in their head? What's always in their space, their mental space? The news. They're reading, they're looking, they're watching the same stuff you're watching. So like right now, there were 2 articles that came through. My assistant Chevelle will be able to send them out, and we can get them to Becky and the other team leaders. But there are 2 articles that came through this past weekend on, I think it was Yahoo. Okay, and these articles for the luxury space was a perfect. You can look them up on Yahoo, or we'll send them to you. Was a perfect segue into let the market do the heavy lifting. Okay. So what did I do with those 2 articles? I forward them to my sellers. And I'll put in the subject line, don't shoot the messenger. I always do that. But I send them the articles so that the article can do the heavy lifting as well. Does that make sense? Okay. So when you know your numbers, this is another thing. Like especially right now, everybody's like, oh, we're going to get through this. And my kids call me a Zionist. They say, they think I'm always like really saying it like it is. So I'm just going to tell you right now, we have to know our numbers. You need to go back right now. You're going to all probably think I'm crazy. But go back right now. If you have listings, I would go back and see what they were worth in 2008 and 9 and really look at that and print out those. We call it PAPA here in Palm Beach County Property Association, tax records. So you go to your tax records and you pull up what these houses sold for in 08 and 09, right? Why do you do that? Well, you want to know where the threshold is, where the floor is. You want to see where it is now compared to that. That's so important to do, okay, in this market, because we haven't found, people say, oh, stuff's selling. Yes, things are selling. In our area, if it's under 500,000 and it's priced right, like really priced right, it's selling at a discount, but it's selling. Under 300,000, they're selling pretty quick. But over 700,000 and over $1 million and $1.2 million, especially in a golf course community. Okay, we're in South Florida, right? Everybody okay? We're in South Florida. Guess what we have down here? Golf course communities. But guess what? They can't go to the club and they can't play golf right now. Okay? Some of them over here in Palm Beach County, you can't even go in the game. No showings. What is that going to do to a whole luxury market in the golf space? Well, it's just, I don't know. We'll see. The good news is for all of us, and this is, I think all these market centers are in Palm Beach or in South Florida. The good news is for us this year, first time ever in history, probably first time in the last 100 years ever in history. Everybody from Ohio, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, they're not going back this summer. They're going to stay here. From what I've talked to a lot of them. Yeah, I see a lot of heads nodding. That's right. They're going to stay here. That's right. So what you want to do is you want to get out in that space, not get out there, but call them, talk to them, Zoom them. You want to let them know you're here and you want to be ready for this. We're going to see, mark my words, you're going to see a bump and everybody's going to be like, oh, everything's okay. And you're going to see a little 2 to 3 month, maybe 2 month bump in production where things are going to sell because they're all down here right now. They're in rentals. They're in families' houses. I know agents from New York right now that are here now that are like, we're out of business in New York. They're going to get their license here. I mean, has that ever happened before? No. So this is a brand new ball game. I just want everybody to get ready. I'm not the bearer of bad news. I'm not saying this is an opportunity. This is where you make more money, not less money. This is where you cut your expenses, and when you get a nice contract, your ratios and your numbers and your profit goes through the roof, and your team leaders can help you with that, building out your business plan. Okay? So your job is to know the market. What I would do in the luxury space is I would learn online and in the MLS, but I would learn and make sure I knew all the inventory here. So where could you get buyers and sellers for this market? Well, they're already here. That's one thing. So if you have a listing, that's a good thing, right? You can get people through that. I had two showings just pop today. They're like, boom, boom, wanting to get in there. I'm like, wow, this is interesting. One of our agents just said, hey, there was a bunch of showings here. We're going to be busy for the first 2 months of this flush out. And then the jobless reports and all the different stuff is going to come in, and it's going to be very, very interesting. So we have to be ready for that. Okay. So we talked about, this question's really, really important. Nobody wants to sell their place at a discount. Okay. Our place is going to be discounted. Yes. But if you ever feel like you're in a power struggle with a client, okay, let go of the rope. You got to let go of the rope. Remember, they're the hero and you're the guide. If you ever feel like you're in a power struggle with a client, I was going to say a family member, but a client. If you ever feel like you're in a power struggle with a client, let go of the rope. Remember, they're right. They're the hero. You're the guide. You need more data to give to them, to educate them so they can have an aha and come back around and price the property to the market. Write this word down. Reposition. Reposition. Nobody wants to lower their price. Nobody wants to drop their price. Nobody wants to do anything, but they will reposition to the market. I'm not the market, Mr. Seller. I'm not buying your place. I love your home. It's gorgeous, but I'm not buying it. You seem not to be buying it. You're trying to sell it. We have it advertised on 300 sites all over the world and in front of 7 billion people all over the world. They know your house is for sale. And this is where we are. These are the showings we're getting. This is the feedback we're getting. We're educating the client. So there's one secret I told you guys last time, and I wonder if anybody ever took me on this, and we're going to open it up now because I see the time's going. How many people went back and saw the expireds from 2015 to 2020? That's a gold mine, by the way. The expired listings that have not sold from 2015 to 2019 is a gold mine. Don't call the first expireds that everybody's calling right now. I would call all the expireds all the way back, okay? And be a consultant, financial real estate consultant for those people, because now what are they doing? They're watching the news. They're thinking, should we put it on the market? That's the low-hanging fruit, okay? That's the low-hanging fruit. And I think that's a really, really, really good opportunity to get luxury listings, all right? What's another good way of getting luxury listings? When you're on KW Command, and this is just for us, the ones here, KW. I know some other companies are on here, but where are all the agents up in the Northeast or Ohio? You guys on Naples, you have a lot of people from Ohio and Canada, right? Right. We have a lot of Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey here. We have one of our agents that got 3 referrals from the referral group, Keller Williams referral group inside Command, okay, in the last 12 months. That's huge. We had over, I think, 7,000 referrals into South Florida from Keller Williams agents to Keller Williams agents in the last, I think it was 8 months, 7,000 referrals. So you have to ask yourself, how many of those did you get? Okay. And then what are the activities that you can do every day to get those referrals? All right. So one of them is you could have one of your children or grandchildren or whatever, make sure, just like Facebook, you're friending all those agents in the Northeast and Ohio and Canada so that they know about you and you're telling your story. So when they want to come to Naples and buy or send, they have a client going to Naples, they say, hey, there's Sally Smith in Naples. There's my agent. Boom, there's a referral. Referrals are, in Keller Williams, it's the largest referral company in the world. So if you're not taking advantage of that, that's crucial. The investment for Keller Williams Luxury International, I think it's $1,300. I think it's $108 a month, I think, right, Becky? It's peanuts, okay? So that certification for this year is your first thing you want to get qualified for and certified for. Why? One transaction a year, that's a 10x return or more. Okay. Now we want you to do one a month, and we're going to teach you how to do one a month. We're going to teach you how to do one a month, but just one alone is a 10x return. Is that worth the investment? Absolutely. Okay. So get with your team leaders and say, how do we do this? How do we build out our luxury division? How do we take it to the next level? I'm really proud of this. We put a spot in here. I don't know if anybody saw it, but this is our luxury division here in my two offices, which I'm so proud of. And you all can do that. Get this magazine. It's phenomenal this month. You all can do that in your market centers. And that's the power of we. So when those 30 to 32 people and more growing, we just had some other people join from other companies, great luxury companies. I'm so proud for them to join us. When we do that next batch, obviously we won't be able to all get together like that because of social distancing, but we'll probably have really professional headshots from our whole new division. And we're going to do that every quarter. Okay. Why is that important? Because that's the power of we. So you need to get with your team leaders and take this seriously and grow out your division and your market center and really get serious about Keller Williams Luxury, because it's a powerful, powerful force. When you go into a listing presentation, you want to be one of those 2,100 people. You want to be able to stand there in integrity and say, I'm one of these 2,100 agents. This is my group that I work with. I'll say something silly like, this is who I roll with, and they laugh. And they're like, wow, that's impressive. Those numbers are audited. Those are federally trade commission numbers. There's no fluff in those numbers. They're audited numbers. I think we sold $1 billion. I don't know, Mark, it was crazy numbers. We can send out, I think it was 32 billion last year in sales, just those 2,100 agents. It was phenomenal. And you want to be a part of that, period. So whatever it takes to get with your leaders to get a part of that if you just did one thing this year and you earned the right to be a certified luxury specialist, it would change your world. But you got to lean into it, because now's the opportunity to take it to the next level. Now's the opportunity to go out there and co-list with some of your certified specialists to earn the right to be one of those 2,100. What are you going to do? You're going to do 2 deals at 500. So you're going to trick yourself into making another $30,000 a year, right? To earn the right to be a certified specialist, and you're gonna have $30,000 in your pocket, and you're gonna learn a lot, and you're gonna take your business to the next level, which is just phenomenal. I mean, this network of agents across the country, across the globe is really, we're in how many different countries now? 40 different countries now, all over the world at this luxury division. 40 million, 60 million, $20 million estates all over the world, from Dean Auto in Maui to Nicole Gary in New York City. All these agents all over the world. When you're one of those 2,100, do you think you're going to have luxury referrals? Of course you are. Of course you are. So that's my goal today, is just to share this with you guys and say, hey, this is serious. This is a big opportunity for you. This market is the perfect storm for our company, and the perfect opportunity for our company as a luxury company. It's the time to lean into this and really, because you all are the best trained agents in the business. Our agents are the best trained agents in the business. There's no doubt about it, period, the end. So then why wouldn't you be one of the best trained certified luxury agents in the business? It's just that next step. And it's much, much easier than you think. Okay. And then once you get into that market, we'll keep taking steps of training and help you grow your business and your luxury business. By the way, we're dual branded. You have your luxury business and you have your regular business. We want you to sell real estate no matter what. Last time in 2008, my average sales price went from $700,000 to $75,000 overnight. So just don't ever forget that. You want to do deals every week and you're dual branded so that when it's client appropriate, I call it. You want to use the appropriate marketing materials for the right client. Does that make sense? Go ahead, Becky.
You know, one of the things I wanted to say before you get to the point where you want to open up for question, because I think
I'm good with that.
So on Tuesday we had Pamela on, and we oh my gosh, her last name just flew out of my head.
Temple.
Pam Temple. Gosh, I wanted to say Pam Trent. I was thinking of her husband at the same time.
Kent and Pamela Temple. They're friends of mine. They're phenomenal.
Yes. So we had Pamela Temple on, and one of the things that she said that I thought was really interesting was she said, look, you can't. Her luxury business, she said, was 20% of her business. She's like, you can't just live on luxury alone.
Right.
20% of my business is luxury. And then our team does everything else from mobile homes all the way up to, multi-million-dollar properties, because the other 80% is that meat database. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that before we open up for questions.
Yeah, I think that's phenomenal. Thank you for that, Becky. I implore you to think of it this way. You want to go to the bank every week. Okay? You want to go to the bank every week. I don't care if it's a rental. I don't care if it's a $100,000 sale or a $500,000 sale. You want to condition your cells and your nervous system that you go out and you earn, you serve your community, and you're compensated every week. Okay? It's very important for the psyche. It's very important for your checkbook, and it's very important for your portfolio, your investment portfolio. So you want to do deals, right? You want to do deals. You want to be able to know the market. You want to be able to, if you do a deal every week, you're doing 50 deals a year. And let's just say you did one luxury deal a month. You'd be probably $10 to $15 million or more agent, right? So you want to use the money wisely. So when you're doing those deals, that's the fuel to help you do some very attractive marketing. I mean, that's what this is all about. When I paid for that ad, the two-page ad, that's from deals. That's from, that's a business, a real estate business. You run a real estate business. You're a business owner, okay? So I love the luxury market, and when it's great, but you're a business owner. Never box yourself in. Never box yourself in to I remember when I first started selling real estate, I was building a lot of houses at Ibis Country Club here in West Palm Beach. And I thought, oh my gosh, I could just stay right here and I could just do all the sales in Ibis Country Club. And then I said to myself, that would be crazy. What if something ever happened to the club? What if I had done that right now and my business was closed and I couldn't drive in the gate and show something right now? I said, the best decision I ever made, sell all over the county, do units at every price, and build your war chest. When you build your war chest and you have no debt and you have a considerable amount of money in the bank, you can really, really take advantage of these times. And we can talk more about that too. Okay, so there's a question on there from Tina. Oh, duly branded. What does it look like? So great question. So you have your luxury brand, your luxury marketing, you have your luxury listing presentation, you have your luxury business card, you have your luxury website, and you're going to have your traditional card, and it's client specific. If I go into a $300,000 client and I pull out a luxury listing presentation and I wear $1,000 suit through the door and I'm like, Not that I don't own $1,000 suit, but it looks like $1,000 suit, right? So, and I go through, I go through and I say, and I'm overdressed and it's not appropriate for that client. Is that client going to feel, write these two words down, comfortable and confident? No, they're going to feel threatened, right? And not, say it's not appropriate. So you really want to think through that, and you want to like really lead your client and just be right there on their wavelength with your listing presentation and your marketing materials, whether it's luxury or whether it's traditional. Great question.
I think John McLeod is going to jump in and read some because we did have more come up on the screen. John, you've got some questions there to ask?
Yeah, James, any specific webinars or what is the best way for luxury agents to get acquainted with each other?
With each other?
Yeah, the best way to start networking with each other if you're a brand new luxury agent with KW Luxury International, and you don't know any other agents, how do you find them?
That's perfect. So you get certified. This is what I did. I'll just tell you what I did. Get certified, get the list of the 2,100 luxury agents, friend them all on Facebook, write them a note, handwritten note, send them an email, go to the luxury retreat and meet them and build rapport. And you'll have the world's largest network, residential and commercial network. This year they had the commercial and the luxury group together. It was phenomenal out in Dallas. It was in Dallas. It was just phenomenal. And that's what I would do. And I would work that straight off the bat for luxury. Then I would go to the areas where all my buyers come from, whether it's Ohio or Canada or New York or whatever. And I would network strategically with those agents up there. What do? You get 25 bird dogs up in the Northeast or in Ohio that are sending you referrals. You're going to do 10 transactions a year just from those 25 bird dogs. Would you be okay paying those 25% referrals? Absolutely. Would that be worth you sending them a nice little basket of Florida oranges to think about you? Phenomenal. Nobody does it. There was one guy from a Hawaii. He used to send out candy. Brilliant. This Hawaiian candy he sent to all the luxury. Remember that, Mark? He was a great guy, a luxury agent. Phenomenal. And he would meet you at an event and send this Hawaiian candy, and it would show up once a year. I do business with that guy all the time just because of that box of candy. Anyway, go ahead. Next question.
Excellent. Thanks, James. And for those who don't know, you can go into the referral section command, right, and you can find where most of the referrals are coming from in your specific offices, incoming and outgoing.
Thank you. Great job, John. Go ahead.
Two questions that are very similar. Would you go over again the sales qualifications to become a luxury agent?
Okay, so each county and each market center is different. So Naples is I think Mark said it's 750 Naples, right, Mark? Okay, so the 2 transactions, 750,000 in the last 12 months. Palm Beach County is 500 or 550. It's a huge county up and down the coast. Now, if it was Palm Beach Island, that would be 3 million. If it's LA, it's 2 million. If it's New York City, so it's specific to the market, but it's 2 transactions for that market.
2 transactions in whatever that break point is. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Your team leader can help you with that.
And Joby pointed out that we also you can also search in command for luxury certified agents specifically through referrals again. So if you want to start building your network that way, you go and specifically search for luxury agents in command in referral opportunities.
That's right.
Any other questions, guys?
I had a question up there, actually.
Oh, yeah, Becky, that got buried. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. So I was curious, if I want to raise my sales price and I don't have a database of high net worth individuals, where do I start with lead generation? Where do I find my business?
Well, that's a great question. The first thing I would do is I would understand the market. Okay, I would really know the market. Then I would reach out, like Joby said, I would reach out to the luxury agents all into the Northeast that are sending the referrals. That's just the first thing I would do. That's free. It's building my referral group, and it's helping me build my confidence. Okay. The second thing I would do is this is such a good question. I would grab Mark or Michael or some of your luxury leaders in your market centers, okay? And I would sit down with them, social distance, but I would sit down with them on a Zoom or whatever, and I'd say, hey, Mark, are you okay if I bird dog and get on the phone, and are you okay co-listing with me? And Mark's gonna say, yeah, I'm okay with that, or maybe not, I don't know. So you would find an agent to co-list with. Why is that important? Because when you get on the phone and you start prospecting for this, right? And you want to prospect for this, you want to feel comfortable and confident that when you bring it to Mark, that you're going to be able to get it listed and get it sold. Remember what I said, the first thing was, what's the one thing agents lack is the confidence. It's just a confidence thing. So you want to, when you could go into houses, what I would tell agents to do is go in, and I want you to go into one luxury house every afternoon that's open and vacant and just preview the market. Why? When you get into that energy of those luxury houses, you're going to know the market. You're going to feel what it's like in that house. And then I'm going to have you get your computer and your phone out and start calling people inside that house and saying, hey, you got to see this master bath. You got to see this backyard. You got to see this. You got to see that. Now you may say, well, who am I going to call? Well, you'll be amazed once you learn the market and you feel more comfortable and confident. There's going to be plenty of people to call. You're going to go to your team leader and you're going to say, okay, who do we prospect for this? But it's a moot point if you don't feel confident. That's why you got to feel confident first and build a relationship with your luxury leaders and your team leaders till you know the market, and then you're going to go and you're going to feel that confidence. And then the team leader is going to say, here's the list of the doctors in Naples. Here's the list of the attorneys in Naples. Here's the list of the doctors and attorneys in the Northeast. When you can get on the phone and you're prospecting to the Northeast and like, hey, you won't believe the deals we have here in Naples right now. You got to see this house. That creates a sense of urgency. First thing you got to do right off the bat, you got to create a sense of urgency. You got to create a moment of time where they're like, oh my gosh, Bob, we got to get on that plane and fly to Florida, or we got to put in this contract. And you want to create a sense of urgency on the sell side and the buy side. If someone's thinking about selling in the next 5 years, they better sell in the next 90 days. It's very important. If you got people that you're like, hey, they're thinking about selling. No, we got to get this on the market now and get it sold in the next 90 days for this rush of people that are here right now. Okay, that's only going to be a finite time. Once the unemployment and all that other stuff kicks in, and it's going to be a rough couple of years here. So you got to be prepared and you got to lean into that. Don't just sit back passive. This is not the time to be passive. This is not the time to say, let's wait and see. This is not the time to say, oh, hope they open it up. I'll see when they open it up. No, you want to make your 5 to 25 contacts a day. You want to be working smart inside your house, dialing into your database. You want to be checking on your clients with care calls to make sure they're okay. It's not the time to like go hardcore. It's time to do care calls, learn the luxury market, and then ask the questions as a consultant. And you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed. You'll say, once you feel confident that you know the market, luxury market, you'll be able to make a call, ask a few questions, and then it's going to light up for you. And they're going to go, oh, well, what about Ballin Isles Country Club? And you're like, oh, I know that. I saw a house in there the other day that was a steal. Well, I got this one. I can't guarantee you, but we may be able to get it for this. Would you be interested in that at that price? I would be very interested at that price. And then you're off and running. But you got to get confident. You got to lean into this, and you got to know your market, so that when you're making your calls and they say, well, what about, I heard blank to blank was going on in that club. Well, if you don't know, well, I heard that waterfront was still a good deal. Tell me about waterfront. You got to know. What's the best way to know? You go on the MLS and you look at all the waterfront listings, look at all the waterfront expireds. You understand that, you spend some time in that, and your confidence level rises. And then when you're making calls, they're going to ask you, what about this house? What about this house? And you're going to go, oh, I know that house. I was in that house the other day. You really? No, I was on a Zoom. I was on a video thing. I know that house real well. They'll say, what do you think we can get it for? That is going to be their next question. When you start hearing, what do you think it's worth? What do you think we can get it for? What do you think my house is worth? Do you think I could get X for my house? Those are things that you want to hear. And when you hear that, you should light up and feel very good, because that's job security. And then they're coming back around to like, okay, let's get this house sold, or let's buy a house. Those are buy and sell signals. When you hear stuff like that, you should get butterflies and get all warm and fuzzy.
James, we're coming to the end here, and I want to just kind of paraphrase, if I can. Do you mind real quick? Because you've said so much amazing stuff right there.
I know it's a fire hose, and I'm sorry. That's just how I am. I drive people crazy. But
what I heard you say clearly is one, know the market and be confident in it. So if you're going to sell waterfront properties or golf course communities, or if you're going to target certain areas, you need to know it in and out. Number two, you need to start making well, first of all, yeah, the referrals with the agents and getting the agents, that's great. The second is it would be very important for you to start making cold calls to high net worth individuals and create relationships with doctors and attorneys and wealth managers, and especially wealth managers. They manage people's wealth. They know wealthy people, and create those relationships with those folks. And then if you want to focus on listings, you can go back to listings from 2015 to 2019 that have expired. And if you're really comfortable, or even if you're not comfortable and you want to get comfortable, you can start making cold calls to expireds. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and you want to make sure your luxury listing presentation is top notch. So I'm sure Becky has those, and your leaders have them. We have them as well if you need them. But you want to make sure that that's appropriate when you send out the information. And you want to always be listening for those opportunities.
Yeah, I love the luxury. If you're a member of the Keller Williams Luxury Network and you have that certification, the presentations that are offered are amazing. They are absolutely amazing. Last question I want to ask before we get off. You said something that I kind of dig in a little bit deeper, and I hope it's okay if I do. I heard you say the next 90 days is the time to act, because while we don't have a crystal ball, it looks like the next couple of years, we could be looking at a very different climate from a real estate perspective. Can you just touch on that just a little bit before we close out?
Yeah, so you want to think in the luxury space, these are very, very sharp individuals. So I encourage you to follow the financial networks that they're listening to every day. And what right now, it's really a powerful time. So from what I'm hearing out there, okay, it's called earnings season. And so now all the companies have to legally report their earnings. So that's the next month or two right now. And that's going to tell us a lot. And as well as with the unemployment numbers and all the different companies, it's going to be quite interesting, because the motivation for sellers is going to really increase. You're going to really see people that are like, wow, we need to sell this second or third home. That's why I'm just imploring everybody to get certified, get co-listing certified, and get ready, because this is different than 2008. In 2008, it was, watch the special, The Big Short. It's really worth watching. Just watch it. Okay. This is going to make that look like, I think, I don't mean to be bad. I'm not saying sky's falling, but this is a much bigger obstacle to overcome than that. When that happened, it was boom, boom, boom. And then it bottomed. And then yes, people were losing houses, but this is different. This is a system that's been shut down. It's just different. It's different than 9/11. 9/11, it was about 6 months. Mm-hmm. Then George Bush says, hey, let's go get the bad guy. And everybody got around the country and we went ahead. Right. So that's just different. It was a 6-month pause. This is much more of a systems, financial system, our mortgage system, our travel system, our education system, every system right now is being challenged. Okay, so it's just different. So you're going to have sellers that need to sell that are in a working class families that are going to really need to sell and sell fast. And then you're going to have second and third homeowners that are like, you know what, I want to get money into my stock portfolio now and buy when it's low. Sell the home in Florida. Sell the home in Florida. Let's get that cash. I have 2 doctors I'm working with right now. They want the cash out so they can invest in the market when it's really low this year. That's very important to know. So the majority of the people in Naples and Palm Beach County and all these different luxury areas, they're sitting there right now at home going, I wish I had more cash to invest in the market, stock market, in the next 3 to 6 months. Okay? Get that in your heads. That's very important. How do they get more cash to invest in the stock market in the next 3 to 6 months? They sell their Florida home.
Yeah, they sell.
Yeah, it's very, very important. And I know I'm passionate about that, but you want to help and assist them to sell those properties, to free up that capital, because you're their financial consultant in the real estate space, and then work with their financial advisor in the Northeast, which is going to send you more referrals back this way. You want to help that financial advisor in the Northeast make more money, right? And invest, and then he's going to send you more people back as well. That's another thing. I just thought about that. That's like huge. So when you're a high-end client, they have their attorney, they have their stockbroker, they have their builder, they have their banker, they have their doctors. They better have a really good real estate financial consultant, and that needs to be you. Okay, that's the key. That you want that to be you. And then when you're in that network, never let go of that network. You have 25 of those networks, you'll make $500,000 a year every year. It's just in our business, because they will be working with you. That's a phenomenal network. So you want to think about it on that level, not like, okay, so how do I help these sellers free up their capital to reinvest in the market? Well, you got to call them and see if they're doing okay and make sure they don't have COVID right now first, right? That'd be a good first start, right? And then they're going to ask you one question. What's the question they always ask you? How is the market? How's the market? And you better know the market so you can deliver that right then and there and execute and put it on the market and do the virtual showings and boom, done. Very simple, but you got to make the calls into that space.
Great. James, are there any more questions? We're running over, and I noticed that some people are jumping off, but I wanted to make sure I give the opportunity. Joe Cotto did ask, financially, whom do you follow?
Gary Keller.
Yay!
I'm telling you. No, I'm not being a wise guy.
No. Yeah.
Listen, I'm not being a wise guy. All right.
Yes.
You stay in the boat with the people that have been through the storm before. Okay. Stay in the boat, and Gary Keller is driving this boat for our whole industry. All these are great companies. I don't care what company you're with, but that's who I follow. When he says charge, we're going this way, I say, yes, sir, let's go. Because I've been in the business 36 years, and he's been in the business that long or longer. And I'm telling you, you can't buy that kind of experience. These other companies out there, they have no leadership experience like that. And not to be negative about other companies, I'm not doing that. But who you're in business with matters. And so that's who I follow.
Awesome.
That is who I follow. Period. The end. Period. Stop. That's it. You know, that's this. I can't even go over here a little bit or over here a little bit. That guy has led me through the storm many times, and we're going to get through this stronger. When you stay in this boat and you push through and you do and you get plugged in, by the way, bold pivot is mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
This bold class coming up is mandatory. If you're going to be in the business, if you're with another company, get with the team leader. They'll get you set up. You can just go into bold pivot. It's mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
They're building that class for this current environment. It's not some boilerplate thing. This is Gary Keller that's building that bold class. It's all virtual. I think it's $99, right?
Yep.
And they're building that class for the next 120 days. Why wouldn't you be in that class? Everybody on this call should be in that class. right?
Absolutely.
There'll probably be like 10,000 agents in that class. Those 10,000 agents are going to thrive this year. Yeah, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
There's already 14,000 agents signed up for it.
Well, those are the agents. Those are the agents that are going to thrive. And in 2008, we lost about 30% of the agents. They say we could lose 50% of the agents this time. So you got to say, where do I want to be? I want to be in that boat. I want to be in that class. I want to learn these systems and models and tools, and I want to thrive during this time, because that's who I follow. That's a great question. That's a great question. Any other questions before I roll? I hope this
James,
has been helpful.
you've got Susie would like to make one comment before we end.
Thank you. Firstly, thank you for the inspiration information, James. Wow. Always leaves me with the positivity. I just wanted to let the people out there know that I actually had my own real estate company, and in my most flourishing years were that in time when people were in distress. It was a little bit of a different form than it is now, but tens of millions of dollars of sales. I believe in the Martin Luther King quote, "Only in the darkness you can see the stars." I'm telling you, it's not being greedy to want to sell or to buy right now. We all have compassion towards people, but we're actually helping them. We're doing a service.
That's a great point.
So I just wanted to put my heart out there on the line. I'm late for a 5:30 meeting. I don't think I've ever been so busy with these Zoom meetings. And the only reason I didn't go live is because I just worked out. So, but everybody exercise, keep your mind and body and spirit healthy. And James, thank you. Thank you. That was great.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, namaste. Ciao. I'm going.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
And
James, thank you.
Becky, let me just one thing for everyone that is not in the Naples and Marco market centers. If you would like a copy of this recording, please reach out to our team leader, Becky Colburn. She will have the link tomorrow. It'll be posted on YouTube, but it will be a private link. You will not be able to find it without the link. So if you would like a copy, we will have both the audio or the video and the text available for this. So reach out to Becky and we'll get you covered.
Yes, absolutely. And my email address is bcolburn, my first letter of my name, bcolburn@kw.com. James, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're just volunteering your time, and you're very busy, and we just appreciate you pouring into us and pouring into the agents. And we appreciate the level of urgency that you've given us, that we've got a window of time here to really move on this, to build this business. And we just appreciate you so much. I just cannot tell you how much we appreciate having you on and giving us of yourself. It's just with gratitude.
I really appreciate everybody here, and it's our time to really, we were prepared. You all have been so prepared for this moment, and it's a powerful moment in time in history. You're going to look back. This is a 100-year moment. Okay. And I know many of you on here, you're all the top agents, and this is your time. I just want to implore you guys to just lean into this, take care of yourselves, make sure you're exercising, eating right. I don't think I've exercised and slept and prayed and meditated more in my life than the last 6 weeks. And it's just a beautiful thing. So it's just, just lean into this. And just know that you're here for a reason, okay? And you're all perfectly trained for this environment. This is your time. So just know that. And if you need encouragement or if you need any inspiration on that, you can feel free to reach out to me or anybody on my team and our market centers and leadership teams. And we're here to support you all. And just know that you got this. And I mean that with all confidence. I know you're all your training levels. Just get with your team leaders and get with each other and start building out your luxury division. in your agent division as market centers, and just lean into this. You'll be so blessed and so surprised with how warm and welcome the client will be to you. So God bless everybody here. Thank you so much for all you do, and I really appreciate all of you.
Thank you so much. Bye, James.
Thanks, James.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, James.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Don't shoot the messenger.